medicine. So Gen AI is also used to, has been used to create new medicine solutions. So find a solution like a bacteria, find a new medicine to treat that bacteria. It can train on a specific topic and it can generate a new idea. So it's a very good with ideation. It can create new solutions for the energy transition. So optimizing the energy network, make sure that that it can have enough capacity for a future where there's more people involved, like when there's more people born, and climate action. If you use Gen AI to visualize something, like, for instance, create a new structure for the street, then it can plant an idea in the head of the government, like people working, building the city planning. So suddenly you can have a very easy tool to give out to your government or say, look, if we do this, look how it's going to be. Before that you needed like CGI, visualization, very expensive tooling, and now you can just, with the press of a button, can show you it can also be like that. I'm going to show you a few movies of what AI can do with help people with disabilities.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Do we have any Virginians in the House?
I rise today in support of my legislation.
A politician who can't do public speaking will be a former politician before too long.
My campaign is not about gloom and doom.
Are you aware of that letter?
Last year I was diagnosed with progressive supranuclear palsy, or PSP. It's basically Parkinson's on steroids, and I don't recommend it.
So this is a video of a woman who has lost her ability to speak due to a brain disease. And the problem is with before AI is that they have a computer voice from her that she can just press text in and the computer voice stops. But the computer voice doesn't sound anything like her. So when that computer speaks, she doesn't feel represented. It doesn't feel like her, right? It feels like somebody else. And it creates that robotic computer voice, creates a very big distance between her and the rest of the world. So a little tool like that, voice cloning, has really changed her life because she has always been a speaker. So for that, it was the most important part of her world was her voice. So this is what Gen AI can offer to people with a handicap, for instance. So this is, I think, an interesting part for you as a local creator or a local person wanting to get into generative AI. The thing with generative AI is that it's a very democratizing tool. So this is how the creative industry normally works. You have an agency, like an advertising agency, a creative agency. You have a brand. So the brand needs people, creative people to hire. The agency needs creative people to hire. And how does that go? So it goes like that. Hey John, do you know anyone who can help us out with the copywriting? And he said, oh yeah, my wife's friend, she's a copywriter, we can hire her. So the wife's friend comes to the agency and then, well, she has the job. So this is all about network. It's only about network. So who do you know? People at agencies and brands, they're just, you know, they don't know where to start when looking for people. So they're just like, okay, who do you know? It goes like that everywhere in the world, but it's especially true for the creative community. So it's very hard being a creative from another part of the world and work for brands on the other side of the world. So what happens is that this is the systemic selection that happens when working with creatives in the West, for instance. So there's education training involved. So what school did you went to? Who did you meet at the school? That builds your network, right? That's how it goes. Then you build work experience. You met colleagues, the colleagues go to get another job, go to another agency or another brand, and they're like, oh, I know that person from my previous job. This is how you build your network. Location is a big part of it. Is that person, okay, who who do you know? I know Claire. Where does Claire live? Yeah, Claire lives on the other side of the country. Oh no, that cannot work because we work on the agency, at the agency, and she has to be there every day. So it's about a network, it's about location, also about cultural bias. Because, for instance, Claire is French, right? The French, even though it may be close to Holland, it's still another country. There's another cultural aesthetic there. People prefer other things than in Holland, so there's going to be a cultural bias as well. So they're like, okay, Claire lives on the other side of the country, she's French, we're not going to hire her. This is how the traditional creative agency works. But with Gen AI, we are not bound to a location. We are a digital virtual agency. We work on a Discord server, and everyone on our Discord server, almost no one lives in the Netherlands, and they're all from all over the world. So for me, it won't be an extra effort to hire John. He's here in the audience. Welcome, John. John Tyrell. To hire John because it doesn't matter to me if John lives here or he lives in the US or he lives in Japan. For me, it's all fine. I'm a virtual agency. You can live anywhere where you want. So it's such a. I have actually John's. I didn't tell him. I have a test case here. Bye, John.
Abu, we've been searching for hours. Have you detected anything yet?
Yes, Yao. My sensor detects unusual activity in Sector 7. I don't think that vendor is selling those space suits for the right price. They are really, really cheap.
I'm looking for someone. Have you seen this man?
Sorry, I can't help you with that. But if you need a quality space suit with a good price, then you are in the right place.
So, John, come on stage. Give her a... So, tell us a little bit about how you created this and what the idea. Especially what I want to know is what were the resources you needed for this. Can you stand here a little bit closer?
Okay, so my name is John. I'm a videographer and an AI filmmaker. So my idea behind this project was really to create like a sci-fi African series because I'm interested in sci-fi, but the cost of creating a sci-fi series with traditional 3D and all those other tools are quite expensive. So when I saw AI and Vigo, things like there's a tool called Vigo with motion capture. I figured out that it would be a good way to create something like this. So I used Vigo, and I created the characters using Leonardo AI. So that's for image generation. And then I upscaled it and some other things. But basically, it's quite cheaper to use AI to create something like this than the traditional 3D tools.
Thank you, John. Yes, thanks. So that's exactly what I wanted to address because please realize that the cost of making generative AI productions can be to 95+% more cost efficient and so more cheaper than traditional production. So this is a huge opportunity for people in other countries who have less resources to create something on the same level as we can create because we're all using the same tools. It is everything that your skill set requires is just in here. It's just your imagination and your ability to prompt. So your prompt engineering skills and your imaginations are all you need to be working with generative AI on the level that we are working with it and that we hire people.